Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club. Hello everybody, welcome back to 17 Scooters Club. It's Olivia and Katie here today. As we discussed on last episode, we won't be seeing much of Natalie these next couple of weeks. She is somewhere we don't know up in Washington.
Is she going back to Washington?
She's there now. She woke up at 4 this morning and drove up there. She's seeing Morgan Wallen and going to another like country festival. I was so close because she has an extra ticket to like calling in sick this weekend and going, but I'm like, someone's got to watch our dogs. Yeah. But then I'm like, that's why you have partners. They watch your dogs. But anyways, yeah. So she's camping up there. Everybody say a little prayer for my Yeti. I let her borrow. Let's hope I get to see that again one day.
Well, nice. So, I'm glad you guys got to record yesterday.
Yes. And like a little update for those of you who didn't listen to that last podcast, go back and listen. But it's basically today they released the gag order on the murders up in Idaho, and Natalie technically was part of the gag order because she had like insider information on the murder, was contacted by the FBI, blah 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 blah, and so I kind of was listening to a podcast about it and I'm like, Natalie, like this, you were actually really close to this case. Like not in a scary, like she's a murderer way, but like, if in a different universe, like you were them.
It could have been her, yeah.
Yeah. Like even if she just replied to his text messages differently, and by his is Brian Kohlberger, found her information and texted her. Anyways, that is for last episode. Go check it out. And I feel like it's crazy that, I don't know, like we have that insider information.
I know. The more I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. But yeah, go take a listen. Were you listening to the podcast that I had recommended you listen to? Like when I texted you guys and I was like, hey, this episode is out.
Crime Junkie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was making me like some of the points they were hitting. I was thinking about Nat, and I was like,
it was mostly when they were like, and I know we talked about this on last week's episode, so we'll only stay on it for a moment. But it was when they were talking about like they were brainstorming about why was Maddie the target, and then they figured out it's because she was a server. Like he like tried to like talk to her, and then they were like, well, that's our only guess. Like we don't even see another pattern of that happening. But all I was like screaming at my phone, I'm like, there's a pattern, I know about it. So
I know Nat should write into Crime Junkie and see, because they were like, if anyone wants to come forward and share any information, like, please let us know. So that would be awesome if she could guest on there.
I love them. I'm gonna say something probably really controversial just because it's on my mind. My GM that I allegedly absolutely despise at my job, she has such similar vibes to Ashley Flowers. Like it's just very like control freak, not like boss bitch vibes. Like, do you know how sometimes there's like boss bitch, but they also have like, and I've never met her. It's just like, I think it's just their, what's it called?
Demeanor?
Not their demeanor. Maybe.
Their disposition, their personality.
Yeah, like I don't know her personality, but it's like the way she's like presents herself is very similar to my psychotic GM's like way she presents herself. And so yeah, but then I'm like, I'm really entertained by her and I like everything she does, and I think that she is a boss bitch and she's also a mom, but like she just really reminds me of her. I think it's just the way she looks and the way she like carries herself, and I'm like, ugh.
That happens a lot. People don't name their kids certain names. I remember this is quick side note, mom and dad didn't want to name one of us or the boys Jeremy because mom went to school with someone named Jeremy that she didn't like.
Well, yeah, like that's how there was like our neighbor used to drive a Subaru with the cars that face
Mhm.
like with the seats in the back that face backwards, and I'm like, that is forever their car. I'm not going to drive that car because that's their car. Like I don't want that car. And then like my partner's mom like had an evil stepmom who drove a Jaguar, and she said she's like, even though she's obsessed with cats, she loves cheetahs, she's never driving a Jaguar because her evil stepmom drove a Jaguar. And it's just really weird how that kind of stuff like,
Goes back and forth.
yeah.
Nice. Well, shall we get into it? I have a
Speaking of Jaguars,
yeah.
we
Go
have
ahead.
some I'm trying to make a transition for you.
Oh, okay. Go
Um
ahead.
Jaguars are in the jungle, but what's in the forest?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
All right. So if you guys have been listening, Bigfoot is a frequent topic which we cover. We know, I think a few episodes ago, we covered the triangulation, or I don't even know what's the word for like 5 different maps. We covered it was the national parks, the cave system, the Bigfoot sightings, the missing people, and the aliens, and how that was all triangulated. Liv covered 2 Bigfoot episodes in the past. And so we just can't get away from Bigfoot. So
No.
let me give you some backstory. So I, of course, am always thinking about Bigfoot. And
Same.
so, and so I have found a lot of people who have so much information to offer. So I did not realize we are from the Hudson Valley. Some people still live here, some people don't. But I did not realize that Bigfoot was so huge in the Hudson Valley, which is crazy to me because we grew up here, we live here. We spend a lot of time in the woods. So
Yeah, but think about it. It's Appalachia is what people say.
mhm,
Like cryptids
Appalachian
love
Trail.
Appalachia. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what sprung board me in here. So I was looking up the different Appalachian Trail sightings. Basically, that's how I started. Then that led me to, which is exciting because she actually answered me today. There is a research group in the Hudson Valley called the Bigfoot Research. The Bigfoot Researchers of the Hudson Valley. They have a Facebook page, and there's a woman named Gail, and she owns a local shop up in Red Hook, and she is a Bigfoot researcher. Like all of these people base themselves in science,
Is
which I
her
think is
shop
cool.
like Bigfoot related?
No, it's a bait and tackle shop.
Okay. I mean, oh, that is Bigfoot related though. Like who else is gonna see Bigfoot?
Exactly. So I really want to visit
Mm.
her shop, but she
You
actually
love
reached out to me.
fishing.
Yeah, she reached back out to me today, and she was like, "Yeah, like I'd love to answer any questions." But basically,
Oh,
this is where my research started. So she puts on local events and talks, which I think was really cool. Her name is Gail. If you think that there's Bigfoot on your property, you can call Gail and her research team, and they will come out and investigate
oh my
for
god, I
you.
love her already.
I know. They do like conferences and projects, and on their Facebook website, they share all different types of videos and whatnot. So that's where my research started. And I was like, this is so cool. They literally go out, they hike together, they collect Bigfoot evidence.
Man.
So in talking about this, my friend actually, he was like, "Oh my gosh, you're into Bigfoot," and I was like, "Yes, hello. Do you listen to listen to our podcast?" And he was
Yeah.
like, "You should reach out to my friend Scott Tompkins, and Scott Tompkins is with the Bigfoot Mapping Project." So
He recently followed us on Instagram.
he did because I was talking to
Shout
him.
out. That's
Yeah,
funny.
shout out to Scott. So Scott has given us so much information, and he actually gave us some audio that I'm hoping if I play, he recounts one of his first Bigfoot interaction and kind of how he got into this work. But we'll share all of these links which we're talking about. But basically, Scott founded the Bigfoot Mapping Project, which is super cool. It's a website, and Liv, I'll share it with you. You can log in and you can map and log Bigfoot sightings. So when you go on, it's an interactive map, and it's a map of the United States, and it lights up. So similar to those maps we were talking about a few weeks ago, it has all of these spots. but it's kind of like Google Maps where you can zoom in and out and you can click on the different sightings and it pops up and it tells you exactly like the latitude, longitude, what happened, who reported it, when it was.
That's cool. So he created that.
Yeah.
I stalked him because, like, as you know, if you're listening to us from the future and we're super popular right now, we're very getting started. So everyone who follows our Instagram page, like, I stalk to figure out how they found us, like, and all of that. And so I saw that he followed you, and then the Bigfoot mapping stuff. I thought that was really cool.
It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, we'll share the link so you guys can look at it. So I obviously immediately zoomed into the Hudson Valley, and there's so many different sightings that I didn't realize that there were. So if you have a Bigfoot sighting,
I'm gonna find the
you
closest to our house.
yeah, if you have a Bigfoot sighting, you can actually submit it, and we will. He gave us permission. We can post the link, and if you guys want to submit your Bigfoot sightings or look through it. So basically, I asked Scott a bunch of questions, and I'm going to read you some of his answers because they're really really interesting, and then I'm going to try to play his audio when he tells us about his first Bigfoot sighting story, and then we'll go from there. So basically, I asked Scott, what inspired you to start Bigfoot mapping? What was the first report or something that really hooked you? And he said it all started when he was working in the field doing seismic exploration. I wish Nat was here because I feel like this is down her alley. But he was doing seismic exploration. He kept hearing all of these stories, whether they were like oral history stories, different sightings and encounters. And it struck him that all this information was being passed around by word of mouth, as we know, and no one was really capturing it in a solid way. So during quarantine, he finally had time and he built a database and he taught himself how to build a mobile app, and he did it so people could report sightings and explore data in real time, which I think is super cool. So he said, from the first moment I saw a user submit a sighting and I knew that they could actually use the map and we were able to map it, he's like, I had to share it with the community. So I think that's super cool that he ended up doing that for all of us Bigfoot lovers out there. I asked him, out of all the Bigfoot theories, because we talk about a lot of theories.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, I said, what ones have you heard and which one do you lean towards? And he said that he's someone who likes to lean towards science and data, the side of things. So he's pretty drawn to the idea that Bigfoot represents an undiscovered, intelligent humanoid species that has managed to avoid clear detection because it's elusive and it lives in the remote wilderness, which makes sense because remember we were talking about like national parks. He said that he thinks there's a lot to explore in their ecology and behavior. He likes to look at it from a naturalist's perspective, and that there's evidence that's been gathered from credible witnesses and researchers. He said he's a little skeptical of the outlandish and the supernatural theories, but he said, my focus is what we can observe, document, and analyze. And that's what he's doing through the mapping. He was like, whether people think it's outlandish, whether people think it's science-based, I just want a spot where everyone can come together and map, which I think is cool. I asked him, what's the best way for people to support your Bigfoot mapping? And he said, join the community, download it. It's an app. It's called the Bigfoot Mapping Project app. I downloaded it. Submit your sightings, share your stories. He said the more data we can get from all types of people all over the country and beyond, the more reliable this Bigfoot database becomes.
I have a question on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, of course, my map is looking like this right now. I was just looking at the map, and out of all of it, there's a dot that's glowing green, like right on the Connecticut and New York border, like very close to where we're from. And I'm wondering what the reasoning for that dot is, if that's like the epicenter or if that's where he lives.
I see it.
You see that? I thought it might have just been me.
2024. Maybe it's date. It was from
so
October
it's
last year.
maybe a recent one.
Should I read it? Well, this is a long sighting, but basically it gives you the date, the time.
You should read some height. At the end for sure.
Okay. Remind me. I have that glowing dot up.
Okay.
Okay. So basically he wants everyone to come together no matter what it is that you believe in, whether it's paranormal or science-based, and just use the map so everyone can document what they're seeing. So he likes it also, and I thought this was an interesting way to put it. He uses it because it's built around crowdsourcing and technology. So think about like all the Bigfoot stories that we talk about, and like I talk to friends and they're like, "Oh, I have a Bigfoot story. No, I have a Bigfoot story. No, where did you see it?" So this is like just essentially gathering so much data and then going through and analyzing it. I saw your face. Did you find something?
I'm just like, I zoomed in and I just, how many there are.
And
like,
if you
there's a
click on them,
lot.
it gives you such specifics: how tall, the time, the encounter, whether it's an audio or visual. While you're looking, I'm going to see. I hope this comes through our recording. If not, we can try to embed it. I have 2 recordings put together. I think they're about 3 minutes. The first one, I asked Scott to tell me a little bit about his first Bigfoot sighting and like what got him excited about it. So I'm going to play that for you.
Okay.
Can you hear him?
No. Are you playing it on the same like device that you're recording on?
Yes, we'll cut this part out. Hold on.
I wonder if you can record it on your play it on your phone or something. Anyways, I'm scrolling through and there's like a decent amount up in by Morro Bay and Atascadero. Like there's one road actually right where Taylor Lautner married now Taylor Lautner, and at a winery called Epic, EPIOCH, I think it's called. And the 41 connects the coast with Atascadero. And that road has like 6 to 8 different Bigfoot on them.
That is crazy.
That's pretty cool.
And that's near the coast, right?
Yeah, coastal Bigfoot. They be swimming out there.
I'm curious, in that area, I don't know how many you clicked on, but in that area, are they mostly audio or are they visual? Or are they like, does someone see the Bigfoot?
Oh, good question. My phone just took me back to the beginning again. So let's see. New map.
Yeah, while this is downloading.
Well, it's downloading. Sorry. Why not?
I thought I would be able to play from the same device.
No, that's okay. I feel like there's a lot in California, clearly. I want to see. Oh, yeah, but like this is like a massive red glowing spot. Do you see that?
Oh my God.
And it's like random too. Out of here. 1994. Oh, it has actually no information on that one. Let's see this guy.
Yeah.
I need to pull this up on my laptop because it keeps crashing on my phone. Because I don't have the app. I clicked the link.
All right. I'm going to play this. Let me know if you can hear it.
Okay.
Hey, everybody at the 17 Scooters Club, and thank you to Kate for reaching out. I'm happy to be sending you guys a voice message, but I wish I could be there to talk, but I'm sitting here in Texas, and you guys are a little far away. So there was a few questions
right in between us.
Yeah.
In my own voice, mainly the ones about encounters, because 1, I've had a personal encounter, and 2, there's a question about the Hudson Valley and any encounters that stand out to me. And I'll share both. First, the Bigfoot Mapping Project is what I'm here to talk about, and that is a crowdsourced database that captures and collects Bigfoot reports globally through our survey on our web application.
You put it a better way than I did.
If you have a report, you can log in and fill out some questions in a standardized form. That way we capture better information and we can do better analysis about Bigfoot. And we also have an interactive map that's on our website at www.bigfootmap.com. So now here's what everyone here came here for. That's the encounter information. But the first question you guys asked me is, what's the most unforgettable Bigfoot encounter you've come across in your mapping work? And ironically, I didn't have an encounter due to my mapping work. I had one as I was walking out of my hunting spot. A couple of years ago, I was walking out of the river bottom in Sealy, Texas, where I hunt. I was bow hunting, and I was walking out after shooting time. It was too dark, and I looked ahead of me about 30 or 40 yards, and there was what I thought was a wild boar, quite large, and maybe 300 pounds, 250, 300 pounds, maybe on the top of the scales, 350, very large. And so I stopped and I just waited for it to be on its way. It was dark. I didn't think it saw me, so I just figured I wouldn't scare it. I was walking out pretty quiet. It's just sandy, loamy kind of soil where I walk out. And so I just thought I'd let it be on its way. But as I was standing there, it stood up. And I thought to myself, whoa. But little did I know I was actually saying it out loud. So I said, whoa, when it stood up and squatted back down like it heard me. So I stood there for what seemed like a few more seconds, maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds max. And while it was squatting there, I just said, the first thing that came to my mind was, I see you. Just like you would matter of factly say to somebody or something. I was just buffering. I wouldn't say I was freaked out or scared or nervous, but I was confused, processing the scenario, and that's what came out. So when I said that, it stood up. I could see its silhouette really well. Long arms, huge cupped hands, pointy head, no neck, very large individual. The sagebrush it was behind came up to about its navel, and they're about 3 or 4, maybe 5 feet tall, some sagebrushes. It was large. It was probably 7 feet tall, 6.5, 7 feet tall. And when I said, I see you, it stood back up, turned around, and bolted through the whole field. It's on an edge habitat, so it hit the field, hit the taller grass, and then got into the woods, and you could just hear crashing through as it was running, and you could tell it was running on 2 legs, right? It's really lucky to have had that experience. It was after I started the Bigfoot mapping project, but it was not anything I was looking for at the moment, at that time. It was a surprise. I was not ready. And after it was all said and done and the goosebumps went away, I sat down and I was like, holy moly, I saw Bigfoot. That was Bigfoot.
That's crazy.
So that's my experience. And then the second one, the second question, have you come across any Bigfoot reports or patterns in the Hudson Valley area that really stood out to you? Yes, actually, years ago, my father and my brother were driving from Beacon to White's Marina, actually. And they were going past Stony Kill. And just after Stony Kill, they looked into the woods and they saw something walking that was bipedal, tall. This is like 5 in the morning, right? They're going fishing. They're going to the marina. So they both look at each other and say, did you see that? It's one of those classic, did you see that? I'm not crazy, right? And so I know there's stuff going on there. We're all outdoorsmen. We're all very familiar with wildlife. For my father and my brother to say that they saw something that is, and stick to it for probably 25 years now, that really says something. And my brother later went on to be a pilot in the Army, an Apache pilot. And my father was a coach and serious person and a citizen in the community. So I wanted to get on and talk to you guys about that and just share those things in my own voice, because I don't think writing it really would have come through. But I just wanted to say thank you again.
Well, of course, I think that's crazy that he started the mapping project. He was interested in it, and then unrelated, he was like, I'm just going to go hunting, and then came across a Bigfoot.
Yeah. And I think that that's like a similar story, because a lot of hunters are very like, I don't know, like they're no bullshit type of people for the most part. As a general stereotype, I would go ahead and say that. Yeah. And so for hunters to see things like a Bigfoot and then stick to it, like you said, for like 20, 30 years, like I feel like that's very telling, and of like, yes, something's got to be out there. And hunters know their shit. Like they're hunting things. There's very specific regulations. I don't hunt, but I know that there's regulations on when you could go out, like what you're allowed to shoot, and then you got to know what's around you for safety and everything. So like for them they're the people you would go to identify a species of anything. So for them to be like, I don't know this, and it's crazy. Yeah. So.
And then it just ran away on 2 feet. I don't know. That gave me the goosebumps. Like, obviously, the Bigfoot walks on 2 feet. I get it. But I don't know. That was just a little goosebumpy. And the last thing I'm going to play, it's about a minute and a half. It's from Scott. He obviously is a Bigfoot enthusiast, and he has a son. And so this last part, he wanted to add in, and I think this is so cool. And then I'll see if I can share my screen, and we can look at the map.
One more thing to talk about is a little off topic from the Bigfoot Mapping Project, but it's still Bigfoot related. And that is the children's book that I wrote for my son when I found out we were going to have Rhett, my son. I was inspired to write Marmalade's first adventure. And as you could probably guess, Marmalade is a young orange Bigfoot who is ready to go off on his own. But in the story, he has to pass a test that's set up by his parents where they teach him different lessons on how to survive and be confident, make decisions, and be independent, all on his own. And at the end, he has to find his parents through the course that they've laid out for him. So it's a short children's story, and it's meant to teach some lessons to, in particular, my son, but hopefully other children will enjoy it. And I just wanted to share a little bit about Marmalade's first adventure, since that's coming out at the end of the month. It's on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, Books A Million, just about anywhere you can buy books online. And if you want to learn more about that, you can follow Marmalade Bigfoot on Instagram.
Yep.
And I forgot to mention before, but if you'd like to follow the Bigfoot Mapping Project, you can also follow me on Instagram at Bigfoot Mapping Project is my handle. And then bigfootmap.com is the website. Mm-hmm. And you can always email me, scott@bigfootmap.com.
Nice. So he has so many resources. Isn't that so cool? Yeah. I'm going to see if I could share my screen.
Okay.
And we could look at this. The Bigfoot mapping. Share. Is this the big glowing dot? And also, yes. Scott, thank you so much for sending everything in. Scott signed his email with "Good luck with your search," which I love. Which I loved. But yeah, go check that out.
I feel like out of everything that you could encounter, like cryptids and like everything, I think Bigfoot to me would be the most like kind of cozy, like obviously scary in the moment, but like I'd rather see that than like a flesh pedestrian or aliens. Like aliens scare the crap out of me, but like a Bigfoot just reminds me, like I just think of it as a species that we don't know yet, just out there.
Because we've talked about Bigfoot for years. Like, remember growing up, like we'd go outside, we'd like, do you hear the knocking? Like Bigfoot has just always been a topic of conversation for us. Mm-hmm. So to me, yeah, it's not scary. I don't know if I saw one. let's
that was a little, yeah.
So these are all different sightings. I'm not going to click on all of them because I have this one lit up. It's right actually next to Dover Plains. I used to work there. But over here you can see it has the date. It was October 2024. Its height 7 feet tall. There's no vocalization. And then this is the encounter. So the three of us were at the edge of the lake. We were talking, looking at the stars, enjoying the night. We had no fire. There's no headlamps, just the moon. We were hanging out. They were interrupted by wood knocks, and they said that there's two large rocks that got tossed into the water, and they were big enough to hit the rock, like the bottom of the lake. So they thought that there was some force, making distinct rock on solid rock impact under the water. It was definitely unsettling. So that sounds like a huge rock to be thrown. I, against my friend's advice, grabbed the flashlight and I started heading up the lakeside from where the noise came from. And I went to the east of the lake and I wasn't able to find anything. It was super late when it all happened and not a single car came down the road. They said, so over a 4-year period, not one car came down the road. I feel like there was no human activity in the area, so I can't really explain. They didn't hear anything. There's no footprints, but there was wood knocks and throwing things. And then some other people left some comments. I'm curious what lake that was.
I know. Is it Candlewood Lake? Is it?
Hilltop Pond.
Hilltop Pond.
It
sounds like a small, especially if people weren't going to be driving past it. It sounds like a small place. I don't know. I'm going to be the skeptic in here. Throwing rocks does sound like you can't just be like, oh, rocks are being thrown in the water. It's a Bigfoot. Like, I do understand, like, it's a big rock, but like, think about if two people couldn't do it, like hooligans. Mm-hmm. Them hooligans are throwing rocks in the water again. But yeah, that is a close one.
Yeah, there's so many. Did you look at your map? You had a few.
Yeah, but none of them had stories to them. So a lot of them I clicked on didn't have stories. We should read one in honor of Natalie, because
Good.
Natalie said she was avoiding purposefully all the spooky podcasts that we listen to together because
Oh.
she's going to be camping up in the Pacific Northwest in
Do you know specifically
Washington.
where? In Washington?
I don't recall.
Where,
I know she's seeing. There's a music festival this weekend in Washington. Let's figure that out.
Yeah, and then we'll read some Bigfoot sightings, and then we'll send it to her.
No, we can't send them to her until after.
Your Yeti. Wait, you gave her your Yeti, and a Yeti's another word for Bigfoot.
Yes. Oh, I think it is Seattle. Oh, I have to do Country Music Fest because it's coming up with like different odd things.
We got Seattle.
Water. Oh, is it freaking Watershed?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's going to Watershed. I'm really jealous. I almost went.
Where?
Oh, that's definitely a West Coast thing. Watershed takes place in George, Washington. George.
Oh, Washington?
George, Washington. Yeah.
How do we search? Can we search?
I'll search where George Washington is.
Yeah.
Where's George Washington?
Where is George Washington? Is it like what is it next to? Yakima, Rainier.
Rattlesnake Cove. It is right smack in the middle of Washington. So between Leavenworth, Yakima, and Pullman. So, but a little bit closer to Leavenworth and Yakima. Let me.
Price. And like down this way.
Really close. So Columbia National Refuge, which I'm really surprised there's none in there. Maybe there will be. Just north of Yakima. Does Yakima come up on your map?
Yeah, it's right here. Can you see it?
Yes.
There was a sighting. Let's see. There's a few here. So there's a sighting right in Yakima. Sightings right south. She's going to be a little bit north. These ones.
Ooh. This is okay. This is the one that I found. It's not sharing the screen. It's that red one by that river. You see it alone?
Yeah.
Click on that one. That's exactly where she's going to be camping.
Oh my goodness. Did you see any young Bigfoots? Yes, with a parent. It was 10 feet tall. It was in 2022, so not that far.
Okay, that's recent.
It was dusty red. Let's read it.
Read it.
This one's for Nat. So there were wood knocks and what sounded like screaming. So I went in closest, I guess close. And then I saw one red Bigfoot and two smaller dusty red Bigfoot babies. The older one had braided hair while the younger ones had wavy hair. I wanted people to know about this so they didn't get killed.
Oh, wow.
Dusty red, yes, with a parent. Interesting because if you look at these, so this one was right by the river, red. A little bit north, people said that there was tracks.
Tracks? When?
In all of these, I know this is a little too far north for Nat, but there's all these audios or sounds.
So what are the different colors of Bigfoot mean? Like the yellow, red, orange, green? Do we know?
I'm sure.
I wonder if it's like the decade in which it happened or like what kind of, like if the color that they were. Let me pull it up as well. I need what's it called? It's only the United States.
.com. Sighting. It gives the date. Yeah, I wonder if it might be the different databases because the green ones seem to be coming up with a little title at the top. Clarence Fox quoting a student. Interesting. And then you can also just scroll through all of them at the bottom if you're curious.
Who would have thought like Pennsylvania, right outside of Pittsburgh, they're almost like the densest scene places.
Yeah.
Like,
look at that.
There's a lot.
Is there a cave system there?
Oh my God, there might be. There's a lot of little lakes.
Yeah. Extremely large inhuman footprint, bigger than Yeah, these are just crazy. If you guys have time, for sure check this out. Again, I mean, this is so interesting if you guys are watching this right now, bring up our map from last week. No, was it
Two
last
weeks
week?
ago.
Yeah,
2 weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago. And look at the map that I got off of Google, and like the one that we were comparing the UFO sightings, the caves, the national parks. And this, again, as Liv pointed out, I think it was Liv pointed out, nothing really happens in the Midwest. It's on the coasts. And again, this aligns with our map. So this is interesting because this is triangulated, like crowdsourcing. Like people are submitting this. This is not Scott doing this. So the people and their sightings line up, which I
Uh,
think is crazy.
I want to go ahead and read one last encounter. It
Yeah, go ahead.
happened exactly where we're from. Myers Corner. I could tell you exactly where it is. Hopewell Junction, Myers Corner. I can't tell you exactly where it is because, I don't want you to find out where we live, but it's where 82 meets Taconic. So Hillside Lake. We're
Okay.
outside Hillside Lake where we go hiking.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, describe your encounter. It says, I distinctively remember wood knocking in a wooded area within walking distance from where I used to live. The area marked was far less densely populated back in the early 1970s. At that time, I did not know anything about Bigfoot. It was a fall morning when I sat out with friends to go hiking when we heard a distant wood knocks. I had no idea what it was until recently. So this happened in the 70s, and this person was watching TV recently. After hearing about wood knocking on a documentary, I'm not sure, but I think I heard this on more than one occasion, and I'm just now figuring out what it is. So, and then it said the date and time is approximate because it occurred during my childhood.
Yeah.
So, someone who grew up in the 70s, like heard and saw a bunch of Bigfoot things, recalled it, and didn't put two and two together until watching a documentary later on in life, being like, "Oh my god, I've encountered Bigfoot before."
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. It's just crazy to think about, like I said, with the like we can look up maps and research, but if with this Bigfoot mapping, this is people writing in saying like, hey, I had this experience, I heard something, I saw something, and there's just so many. So for sure, go check it out. The Bigfoot Mapping Project, Scott Tompkins, and his Instagram again was Bigfoot Mapping Project.
Yes,
Very
and
cool.
I know we've talked about different theories and everything on the podcast, and I feel like bringing up Bigfoot again kind of begs you to just speak on theories for a moment. And I think this kind of just reiterates like I really truly do believe that Bigfoot was like Israel was real. Logging industry had him so they can and like made a spoof of it so they could like justify cutting down all of the woods because if
Yeah.
they knew an extremely critically endangered animal was living in there, then they would be stopped by like activists and really just the general public in order to cut down and log all of these
Mm-hmm.
places. So that's kind of just more reiterated by everything.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because we always have very interesting theories. I know those are my fun ones, and then Liv has her theory about the forest and the
The
logging
aliens,
and the alien. Those, I mean, obviously the
those are
alien
my like wacko theories that like I don't know could be a thing, but
could be
well
the data
also
finds.
this happened like so 50 years ago is the 70s. A lot of those I'd have to go through and actually check when they were. So many of those happened in the 70s, 80s. So like what if that's when the mass clearing happened like in the 80s? Like people were seeing Bigfoot the 70s and the 80s. They mass cleared it and
Mm-hmm.
then got rid of most of them and now there's maybe like a few families left here and there. And that's why there's so few and far between nowadays. But
That would be interesting to research to see if you could
mhm,
find any data on that.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good to hear all the theories. I like Scott said, he comes from more of a science background, but he says that there's something that's walking around on two legs. But yeah, if you guys, again, if you're listening and you have any Bigfoot stories or you have a family member who maybe from the 70s, a parent or someone,
Yeah.
an older sibling who's heard it, write us in, let us know. But yeah, I'm going to continue to do some more Bigfoot research. Like I said, there's another thing that I was going to talk about, but it's not as cool as this. But there's just so many Bigfoot things that I've been coming across, and they're all active in our area.
Yeah, and now I just want to hear everyone's Bigfoot stories.
Well, okay, so I'll say the one thing I was going to say. I won't go into it though.
Okay.
There's in looking through this, um, there is this. Let me find what it's called. There's something called the BFRO, the Bigfoot Field Research Organization. They are different than the other Bigfoot researchers. The BFRO, I don't know that they have any credibility. I didn't go into that deep of research about them, but they lead expeditions locally.
Wow.
So I found one. The most recent one near me was in Connecticut, and it was in June. And they also map sightings, but it's not an interactive, like up to date, like crowdsourcing map. I'm not really sure where they get their information from, but I just think it's interesting that they lead explorations. It's like a camping backpack adventure, but they're very clear that this is for science. Like
Wait,
all
is
these,
this BFRO you said?
yeah, BFRO, Bigfoot Field Research Organization, and you can go. They have them all around the country, but they're very, very clear, even with the belongings you're allowed to bring. Like, this is not Bigfoot hunting. This is not like for fun. Like, they're out there doing field research. So I thought that was interesting. All the people who we talked about today, Scott, the researchers of the Hudson Valley, and the Bigfoot Research Organization, they are all research based, which I think is pretty cool. And they're all quite local.
So I was just scrolling on Reddit to try to find like a story to close out with, and I came upon the Bigfoot thing, and it was like, oh, I want to get a big file of Bigfoot, which just like the 50 most like accurate and like crazy sightings and everything, which kind of sounds like he's looking for this Bigfoot map that they have.
Yeah,
Anyways,
comment. Be like,
yeah,
go to the Bigfoot Map Project.
I know somebody commented though, BFRO has the most extensive documentation of firsthand written observations published online. It seems to be flawed as others have pointed out in that they sterilize the public database of any reports that are in any way indicative of aggression from this. Oh, so if they see any like aggressive ones, they don't post it, I guess. Aggression
Yeah,
from the Sasquatch people or reports that describe any of the so commonly considered woo aspects. Okay, so they filter out like the woo woo ones, I guess, and they just keep the concrete evidence, which is good. That's good.
that's good. Yeah, because that's what their organization is based on. Because they're literally saying like, come research with us, come out on an expedition. But we have to give credit to all Bigfoot sightings, whether they are sound crazy or not, because half of my theories are a little crazy.
Right. I do have to be a little bit skeptical of such a big organization that is like basically building a a vacation around like a whole like massive empire of tourism around Bigfoot, where it's
And
like
we don't know, like
no.
you said, we don't know we're talking about the Bigfoot Research Organization. We don't know
BRFO, I think it's called. Like, we don't know their intentions.
I was just going to say, we don't know their intentions, their background. Like, we don't have a backstory. I did not talk to them. So,
right. And both can be true. There could be like a sleazy guy at the top that just wants to make a lot of money, and Bigfoot's out there and they're collecting all of the real information. They're just using that information in like a sleazy way, or, like more than one thing can be true at once. But
yeah, for sure. Well, this was fun. I'm so happy that people have so many stories and they're willing to share.
I know. I really wanted to find Bigfoot story to speak on, but Bigfoot is just too big. Bigfoot's too big everywhere.
Just too big. Let me see.
You're a skeptic, I believe.
Oh my.
I could read you guys quick what the Bigfoot researchers of the Hudson Valley said.
Oh yeah. Basically, remember what I said last week though, where about AI? That I think that 2 weeks ago now. I think that we've recorded so much that like that happened last week, but it's like a few weeks ago now. That I think the government created AI, and like it seems like you should put a stop to that because it will take over one day. But it seems like the government didn't put a stop to it because then you could easily say, "Oh, that didn't happen. That was AI." When you see a video of like Bigfoot or something creepy or scary or aliens, like
Mm-hmm.
they have the ability to be like, "You're so silly. Like that was made by AI." Like
Yeah.
so pictures and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget the point of that, but I just think
Well,
another like proof in the pudding is that.
that it's another point to consider because I feel like when I forget what year that footage came out of whether you believe that was real Bigfoot or not.
It was the
Like
70s.
today, yeah, the 70s, of course. Today, you could just type into AI, like, make me a Bigfoot, whatever. But I think it's interesting, and especially on Scott's website and all of his mapping, it's sightings, but it's also audio and it's also tracks. And the Bigfoot researchers of the Hudson Valley, they are big into evidence. Like, if you are
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, I heard some knocking, they'll come and they will get boots on the ground. They're out there collecting evidence, looking at things, looking at footprints, looking for evidence. So I think it's so cool that in the age of AI where things can just be made up and like on social media and on the internet, there's these people who are like actually doing these things in real life.
Right, which is a lot harder than doing
Yeah.
things on the internet. But I do have to say I don't think any of those videos are real. Like I
I
think
don't think
in
they
my
are either.
theory, I think that the videos are fake. At least the most the big ones, and they want you to believe that they're fake. Another story that just popped into my head. I forget. I was listening to something. Maybe it
Mm-hmm.
was like the shows that we used to watch when we were little. But um, pretty much it was these hunters in a cabin, and they once night struck, like they started getting like rocks thrown at their
Mm-hmm.
cabin in the middle of the woods, and the thought was that they got a little too close to like a family and their babies, and the Sasquatch kind of like just threw rocks at their cabin the entire night. They were all like a group of like terrified hunters, group of
Mm-hmm.
men just like sitting in their cabin the whole night. I think the Pacific Northwest. And then by the morning, like they looked outside and like things were broken because of all the rocks that they threw, and but they were like, okay, like it's safe to go home now. And I'm like, that's crazy.
That's interesting because I was also listening to one of the interviews that Gail from the Bigfoot researchers of the Hudson Valley was talking about. And I
Mhm.
don't remember where the story takes place. I'm guessing somewhere in the Hudson Valley. But she was interviewing someone and talking about, or she was telling a story about someone who he bought a house with a lot of acreage, and I guess the Bigfoot maybe family, whoever was there, didn't really like him moving in and encroaching because he bought a lot of land and now he's there and they're like, wait, this is us. So then they were being a little mischievous and they were breaking things and like scaring them, and it was bad. To the point where like the family didn't want to live on the property anymore. So then this guy was like, okay, well, maybe they're mad because I'm taking away like their food. Like maybe they just can't hunt because I live here and there's nothing to hunt. So he was making them sandwiches and
Oh,
putting them outside and feeding them. And okay, they liked it, but then he went on vacation and there was no one there to make them sandwiches. And according to him, they trashed the entire property. And then Gail went out, and that's where I left off. But do we think
animalistically, that makes sense.
think so? You
like
think they're
like
spiteful?
as if a bear, like if you started feeding bears, bears knew where to come get their food, and then they came back and they had no food.
They
they're
just have
still
trash
they're
cans.
still looking for food. They need to find the food, so they're gonna find it in the trash can. They knock down your door, they find it inside.
Mhm.
Like that makes sense, like naturally, I think.
Yeah, that's on their
And
Facebook page if you want to listen to the rest of it. But
I have to deep dive for sure. But that also parallels like a like a hunting cabin. You're not there most of the time. You're literally only there for like extended weekends throughout the year. So
mhm.
that's their spot, and you're kind of encroaching on their natural habitat by being in that spot that you're usually never there. And so they're
Yeah,
like, "Hey, get out of here."
that's exactly what that story reminded me of. Like they're like, "Hey,
Mhm.
this is my spot. You're kind of taking over. Yeah, get out of here." Maybe
Aw,
that's the same with what we just read. The big green circle on Scott's map. on the Connecticut, it was right in Connecticut. Those people, they said there's no fire, no nothing. They were just kind of hanging out, watching the stars. And they said there's usually no traffic, there's no footpath, nothing there. And maybe the Bigfoot was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they were throwing giant like boulder rocks. Like, I don't want to hurt you, but get out of here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see that going either way. All I'm saying is I want a little more proof. Like, I wish they would have said, like, we saw a furry man over there, and I would have been, like, sold. But, like, the fact that they didn't see it, I'm like, but it could have been either thing. But that's just, it's crazy. We could talk about this all day long.
We really could. It's such a cool topic.
There's a Bigfoot festival. Whenever me and Natalie were driving to see each other when she lived up in Seattle, there like year round there would be this like billboard for the Bigfoot festival up in like somewhere in Washington, and we'd see it at a gas station, and every year we're like, we have to go to this Bigfoot festival, and then it just never happened. But
I think we need to go as a podcast.
We do next year for sure. I think it's in the fall, so we'll plan far in advance, and we will go.
We could join forces with all of these other Bigfoot researchers and be like, we're going as a podcasting research group.
That would be amazing. We could have little like lanyards with our photos on it and be like, 845 Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 805. Isn't that crazy? I know this is random, but like I grew up in 845 and I live in 805, and it's completely across the country.
Lots of 8s.
93420. I'm trying to think of zip codes. I forget my
unlimited.
I can't remember my zip code right now, but I know we live in 93520. Yeah, that's my zip code. 12540. They both end in a 0.
Gross.
Okay, now I'm reaching. All right. I think that's all we have for you today.
Yeah. We'll post all this stuff on our Instagram.
Yes. And go look at the map. Go read the children's book. I love like a cryptid, like a creepy child, like cryptid baby stuff. Where it's like you can have a kid and you don't have to be normal. You don't have to be vanilla. You could be like, listen, we believe in Bigfoot collectively as a family, and you just gotta be there from the start.
Well, it's kind of like us. Like we were saying, we're not necessarily afraid of it because we grew up just talking about it all the time.
Yeah. I guess I'm afraid of it how I'd be afraid of a bear, where like I know how to scare it away, and like, but I wouldn't, like, I'd be shaken up if I saw one. Like but I'm not scared of it like an alien or a ghost where I'd be like, oh my god. Like, well, what do I do? Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. He's out there.
He's out there scooting around the forest, actually.
I was literally just thinking that of like a picture, like our like logo should be like Bigfoot on a scooter. Literally. We gotta make that happen. All three of us as Bigfoot on a scooter. So like Natalie be like a tall, skinny one, like long dark hair and like really brushed eyebrows. He will be just like a flowing blonde, like she'll be a Yeti. And then I don't know. I could be the redhead. That sounds fun. That fits my personality.
I love it.
That would be fun. I'm gonna go have a conversation with ChatGPT as we wrap this up. I know. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope if you have any Bigfoot stories or any cryptid stories or any stories you want to just tell us, please send them to us at 17scootersclub@gmail.com and upload them to the database, the Bigfoot map. Let us know where it is. If you liked this, please give it a big thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, why are you not? Hit that subscribe button. You get to see our beautiful faces and follow along with us with visual as we talk about things. You can also find us on TikTok, on Instagram, on Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. So there's really no reason that you guys shouldn't be listening to us. Like, we're so entertaining. Murder's one day, Bigfoot the next. Like, come on. Anyways, scoot.
Bye.
Talk to you next week. 2 wheels are better than 4. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.